Okay, today we're going to talk about a topic that can best be described as every trader wants to increase their trading success. And it's, as Eric said, it's an introduction to the 8 major sections of the AutoChartist platform, and it gives you, it'll give you an idea of how powerful this software package is, especially given the trading conditions we have today, where you need to have expert analysis in addition to your own work. You need to understand the fundamentals, and you need to have a trading program that can help you identify a number of trading patterns that take place in the marketplace and that have history behind them. And that's part of the key to trading success, is to be able to look at the present and tie it into the past, as well as looking forward to where a market can move in the future. And that's the beauty of AutoChartist, is that you do have the ability to do those 3 things. Okay, before we start, we'll cover some of the legal work here, and that's in our disclaimer. And what it says here is that AutoChartist service includes chart pattern identification in respect of foreign currencies, commodities, equities, and stocks. There are potential risks relating to investing and trading. You must be aware of such risks and familiarize yourself in regard to such risks, and to seek independent advice relating thereto. You should not trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. The AutoChartist service and its contents should not be construed as a solicitation to invest and/or trade. You should seek independent advice in this regard. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. No representation is being made that any results discussed within the service and its related media content will be achieved. All opinions, news, research, analysis, prices, and other information is provided as general market commentary and not as investment advice. AutoChartist MDIO software, their members, shareholders, employees, agents, representatives, and resellers do not warrant the completeness, accuracy, or timeliness of the information supplied, and they shall not be liable for any loss or damages, consequential or otherwise, which may arise from the use of or reliance of the AutoChartist service and its content. Okay, read that at every start of every webinar, just so you know what you're going to be looking at. And also, I always think to myself when I read that, the only thing they've left out is that we're going to take your firstborn if there's a problem. The topics we're going to cover today are the platform overview, the chart pattern section, the alert and news search section, power stats and miscellaneous areas, as well as quality indicators. We're going to cover in depth these quality indicators, as well as search options, how you can customize the program. We're going to talk about chart patterns. We'll look at Fibonacci patterns, and hopefully we're going to be working with live data and a live platform, and hopefully we're going to get a good market examples and good samples to look at in a live format, so you can see how powerful the market is and how up to date the data is, and as well as the chart patterns taking place. Now, the first thing you want to notice when you look at AutoChartist platform is that you have some key sections. These are divided into 8 sections. Now, I'll flip to a live trading platform today, so I can give you an idea of what's taking place, and at the same time you can see a market here. In this trading platform, we're divided into 8 sections. Across the top here is what we call the analysis bar, and this covers chart patterns. Okay, and these are the classic chart patterns: the triangles, the wedges, pennants, flags, rectangles, you name it, they come up as the classic chart patterns. And then we also have a section here called Fibonacci patterns, which cover the major Fibonacci formations. Now, it's not Elliott Wave, so just to let you know, it's not an Elliott Wave analyst program, but it gives you the core of Elliott Wave, which is the Fibonacci studies, and that includes a 3-point extension, a 3-point retracement. We also cover Gartley patterns, butterfly patterns, ABCD patterns. So there's quite a bit of patterns, which we'll get into later. Also, we have an education section on our website to help you understand how to use these patterns. So if you're not getting everything today, definitely go to the website and read the education patterns, and you'll learn a lot about how these patterns are traded. We also have section B here, our second section, and this area here is what really catches your eye and is appealing to your eye and your senses, and that's known as the pattern display section. In here we have a chart pattern, we have a symbol, interval pattern, pattern end, all our quality indicators, as well as a forecast zone. Section C is the search pane, where you can create your own custom searches based on asset classes such as commodities, indices, forex currencies, or foreign currencies, and you also can customize it into individual equities, or you can set it up by pattern search, by exchange, things like that. So you have a lot of flexibility there. You can keep it as busy as I have it, or you can keep it simple and look at, have AutoChartist search for the major asset classes. In our fourth section, we have the results pane, and this is emerging patterns on the right, and we have completed patterns on the left. Again, we'll get into more detail there. And then we have a section called View Analysis, and in here is a powerful tool that gives us some predictive tools to use in addition to the AutoChartist forecast zone, and these include price range forecasts by various intervals from 15-minute to the daily, and we also show you movement by hour. This is keyed into your local time, so I'm using, for example, America Chicago time period, so this gives me an outlook of what I expect a particular market to move by the hour, and then this tells us the movement per day based on the day of the week to give us an expectation of how much a market's going to move. And now you can also use it to look for volatility. Okay, and then we have a research and education product pane, and that's up here. You can click these on. It'll take you to articles that I've written and other analysts have written for AutoChartist, describing chart patterns and also featuring a little bit of education in each report. And then we also have education sections on articles and videos, and we have product support here. So these links are right up in front for you, so they're not far away if you do get stuck and you need help. And we also have the ability to set alerts here with a sound switch. You can turn it on or you can turn it off. And we don't have any alerts popping up right now, but throughout this webinar, since we are working with live data, you may see an orange dot appear along the side here and along this panel, and it will let you know that some new pattern has been triggered, and it alerts you to move to that section. And up here, here's where I mentioned the time zone. You have a drop-down menu that shows various locations around the world so that you can set it up for. Okay, the first thing we want to talk about is, as I mentioned, the chart patterns. Okay, the key with the chart patterns is that at certain times, chart patterns are going to become very important. For example, if you have a sideways market, or if you notice there's compression in the marketplace, you're going to get a type of pattern that is going to develop over time, and that is, for example, a triangle pattern, because that shows a compression of the prices. And at other times, if you have volatile time periods where there's large movement up and down or swings in the market, you tend to get more channel type formations. And what AutoChartist does, it allows you to search for those particular patterns. So the first thing we want to do is to look at some of these chart patterns that we do trade that are available, we're going to click on this new search button. And in this new search button, a box comes up that gives us the ability to pick a particular market or an exchange. You can see here is various choices. You can pick equities, you can pick Forex, and you can break it by individual time periods, or you can have an all intraday search. So you have a huge selection of vehicles to trade, specific vehicles like stock indices, and also the exchanges that they trade on. But what I really wanted to show you here was, since we are talking about chart patterns, is AutoChartist's selection of chart patterns. By default, every box is clicked here. Okay, but you have the ability to unclick a box so it can search for only the markets that are checked. And so you have chart patterns ranging from triangles, which are the ascending triangle, descending triangle, and your basic symmetrical triangle, as well as channel patterns, wedges, a rectangle, head and shoulders, inverse and regular, as well as conventional chart patterns such as the triple top, bottom, double top and bottom, as well as flags and pennants. So you have a huge selection here. If you're not familiar with any of these patterns, you can stay right on this page and click on this I dot, which is prevalent throughout the software, and you can see that it'll give you the characteristics of a chart pattern that you've selected, as well as when it forms and what it suggests. Okay, so that's what the ascending triangle looks like, for example. If you want to look for a channel down, simply click on this. It'll tell you the same information, what it looks like, what its characteristics are, how it forms, and what it suggests. You also have ability to see the pattern here as a small little icon to give you an idea of what you're searching for. So again, that comes in handy if you happen to be a trader that wants to trade patterns that look like they show compression or sideways action, which are these triangles, and then you want to look for patterns, if you prefer to look for patterns that look like trending patterns such as channels or this rectangle pattern here, then you tend to want to look for patterns such as channels or wedges. Okay, so you have the ability to filter the program any way you want to based on your personal preference. And I mentioned personal preference quite a bit during these webinars because I do think it's a key tool that you have to be aware of. You have to be aware of what type of trader that you are. It's not an automatic program in the sense that it's artificial intelligence. In most of the software and technical analysis tools that are used today, sometimes traders assume that it's an automatic decision maker. And a lot of times it may not fit the type of personality that you have or the type of feel you have for the market. So with AutoChartist, though, you have the ability, if you know ahead of time that you tend to like these breakouts on patterns that show this compression, then by all means you want to look for patterns such as triangles to give you that look of what it looks like or makes you feel comfortable and confident that this market's going to make a move. And so much of trading, from my experience, is that you have to have clarity in the pattern, and then you have to have conviction. And this will give you an idea of the type of tools that you have available here. If you tend to want to be a trend trader, then you may want to look for channel patterns, because you can see that the market often will have a prolonged move inside of a channel. And if you're a type of trader who wants to sit back and get comfortable with easily identifiable support and resistance, then that's the pattern that you may prefer. And then, of course, when you see a break in the pattern, you have an opportunity to react on it. So I tend to prefer breakout patterns, and I tend to prefer high momentum and high volatility patterns. There's no question that any kind of pattern breakout, any kind of breakout program works better when there's volatility. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean, when you have a loss, say, on a breakout, doesn't necessarily mean the pattern's bad. It just means that there may not be enough momentum or volatility behind